Hello, welcome back to Greenhill Junction. Today we are going to start the electrics and get the bus wire put on so I can actually get trains running. And this is what I am going to use. It is the Express Models non-solder DCC bus pack, but I've had to expand it a little bit because of the amount of connections I'm going to be doing. It's non-solder because none of the bus wire is going to be soldered to anything. It's the droppers, they still need to be soldered to the track. So what I've got is there are two packs of bus wire, the blue and the brown, so one's going to be positive, one's going to be negative. I've then got two packs of thinner wire in the same colour. This will be the droppers. The main things I need are these crimping joins, I guess they're called. So the dropper wire goes into these, and then you crimp the red bit, and the plate is your connector. That then goes into these, and these clamp onto the bus wire and basically cut through the insulating plastic, and then there's a metal connection with the wire in between. These things are if I need to expand or do a junction with the bus wire, and you clip these on and then clip in your new bit of wire, and you basically have an extension piece. So I've got an old dropper wire here, so you can see here's the clamp. Try to get this open, 2 secs. No, it's not for playing. Right, so the bus wire would go through there, and you can see try and get this focus. There we go. You can see the metal clip inside. So that cuts into the insulating wire, the insulating plastic, and then the wire runs through in between that little gap, and obviously connects with that metal. That metal is clamped around the red connector inside the blue thing. So the electricity then comes through there. The wire is crimped, stripped and crimped, and is connected to that. So then you have an electrical connection all the way to the end of the wire, which is soldered onto the track. And this is what I did the last time in my last layout, and it worked perfect. So the idea this time is I'm not going to have a complete loop, because I don't want to put wire hanging underneath that when I need to get under that. So I'm going to do a U shape. So start at either end, whatever, and then run. I'll have just the two main wires running right along the middle and all the way back. And then at major points where there's a lot of points, maybe not so much here because all the points are kind of concentrated in the middle, but definitely over here. I mean, basically the main bus is going to be coming through the middle, so that'll take care of the points on the main line, because remember I said in the previous video I'm going to be using the auto frogs, which need to connect to the bus wire. But what I'll probably do is I'll have an additional bus wire coming out here and along here to do all the power connections, and then the same on the other side, and they'll just end about there, because I want to keep everything neat. I see so many videos online of wires all over the place, and I just think, God, how do you even know what's going on there? So my idea is to keep everything neat, keep the droppers short so they don't get caught on things, and hopefully that works. And the control panel is going to be going here, just in front of the station. So there really is no easy way to film and fit in the bus wire, so I'm going to just get that done, and then I'll show you it, and then I'll do some droppers and show you how that works as well. To connect the bus wire to the bottom of the tables, Expression models, they say to basically use terminal blocks and screw them to the bottom of the table. I wasn't so keen on that because that would basically mean you're cutting the wire and then you're reconnecting the other things, and that's just causing connection problems. So I got these Pico wire clips. Basically you run the wire through it and then you just bend the clips into place to hold it, and they're self-adhesive, so they'll just stick to the bottom of the table. So that's my plan, so I'll have a continuous wire rather than cutting it for terminal blocks. So that's the plan. I'll get on with it just now, and I'll show you what I've got once I've got the bus wire installed underneath the table. So speak to you in a bit. Okay, welcome back. So things have moved on. You can see I have my controller in place on this board. It's the old control board from the old railway. To be honest, it's not perfect. It sticks out quite a bit, kind of gets in the way. I was wanting to put in some sort of roller system so it can roll back and forward, but haven't figured out how to do that, and had to fit this to check that the bus wire and all the connections worked. So it'll do just now. I'll probably come back to it and do what I wanted to do, but it performs a function, so that's the main thing. Oops, that'll be soldering iron falling on the ground. So I'll just take you under the baseboards and show you what I've got in place. Got my torch here as well. So you can see bus wire running along, blue on the inside, red on the outside. So the blue is going to be the positive wire, the blue is negative, brown's positive, and then I've put in this junction using these junction bits, and that runs into the controller up there, and it's all held on by, try and see these, oops, these wee clips. They are absolutely brilliant. They stick straight onto the wood, no problem whatsoever, and then fold over the wires and hold them tight. So highly recommend getting them. They're not expensive. I think I managed to get 30 for about a tenner on eBay, I think it was. I've put in my first connections over here. Maybe we'll just see them. There's one there. Soldered them on. So these 4 sections of track are now connected to the controller and they work, which is good. And this is how it all looks under the baseboard. So you've got the 8 droppers coming down from the 4 tracks, and then into the red things are called spades, as I found out, and then they go in the connectors, which are clamped down onto the bus wire to give a connection. So there's no soldering under here at all, it's only soldering up to the rail. So like I say, that all works. So now I can run a train from those points all the way around to those points. So still loads of connections to go, but it's a start. What I thought I'd do is just run over how this stuff works that I'm using. Just so you can see, instead of just seeing the parts and being like I was thinking, oh, how does all this work? It's really straightforward, and once you get into the system of it, it's really easy as well. So this is the wire I'm using for the droppers, and this is a spade. So you can see it's metal construction with the rubber insulator, and there's a hole all the way through. So what you do is strip a small section of your wire. I'm not going to do it because I want to feed this to the baseboard for the next connector, but if you just strip about that much of wire and then you feed it into the spade, so there's wire touching metal. You know, it's actually easier to see with the insulation on. And then you take your crimpers and you crimp down on the plastic bit of the spade until the connection's tight. So essentially, I'm not going to do it because, well, this isn't ready to go. So essentially then you've got wire touching metal and you've got a connection there, and once that's crimped down the wire doesn't come out, it stays solid. What you then do is you take one of these things, no idea what these are called. I think the idea is that you keep it all together and slide the spade in and then slide it into this bit here. The problem is that's quite difficult, or I find it difficult, so what I do is I take this bit out, it just slips out with a bit of encouragement, and then what you need to do is take your spade, slide it in the back there, and then take this wee metal bit, and hopefully you can see on the spade, try and get a focus, see that little groove on the spade there? So you slide the fork over that little groove. Takes a bit of persuasion. There we go, and it clicks in. So you can see, okay, I'm on focus. So you can see that metal thingy is now on the spade. So you think about it, you'll have wire going in there, bare wire is in contact with the metal there of the spade, that metal connects to this, and then all you need to do is click that back in like that, and then take a piece of, or go to the bus wire, don't take a piece of it because then that wouldn't work, and then all you do is get that round the bus wire like so, and then take a bit of plier, or take a set of pliers and clamp that down until you hear it click, and the metal at the bottom there will cut through the insulating plastic and come into contact with the wire. So you've got your power wire in contact with that bit of metal, which in turn is in contact with that bit of metal, which in turn is in contact with your dropper wire, which will go off to your track, and you need to solder that to the track. And that's it. It's all just done through metal to metal conductivity, and it's really simple, really easy, really kind of fuss free to do, and you can even take it apart really easy as well. Just do that and it all comes apart. One other handy thing that was provided in the pack by Express Models is this. So you can use this to create a junction like I have, where the wires come off the bus to the controller, and I've actually put in a secondary bus wire underneath the sidings because there's going to be so many points here. So how this works is you have your main bus wire going through it, like so. And then on the other side what you have is a hole that doesn't come out the other end. So then if you want to run an extension or run a wire to your controller, you slide that in there and it only goes in so far. You can see I'm pushing it and it won't come out the other side. Yet again, get a pair of pliers, press that metal bit down. Sorry, focus is not going that well today. There we go. So press this metal bit down with your pliers, and again that cuts through the insulating cover of both wires. So basically you have that metal touching the wire in there and the wire in there. So any signal that comes along your main bus wire will transfer through that into your I don't know, would you call it, a spur or something like that. And that just folds over and clicks into place to hold it all in. Again, really easy to do, really handy little bit of kit. No soldering, no cutting, that just clamps down and that's it. So that's what I'm using to get it all done, and I'm just going to crack on now and get the rest of the connections done, because there's a lot to do. So next video will hopefully be all the connections done, and there might even be some change running. So speak to you shortly. Cheers. Okay, welcome back, and I've now completed all the wiring. Woohoo! So I've got a fully DCC layout, which is working like an absolute dream. So I'll just show you underneath the tables. So you can see this is probably the most bit of wiring here, because this is underneath fiddle yard. But you've got the bus wires, and then all the droppers coming down and clipping on to the bus wires. Nice and neat as well, so I can tell what everything is. And it runs all the way around. And then under the station, less droppers under here because there's less points. And then in here as well. And it just ends up there. I didn't take it under the bridges because I didn't think there was any need to. So I guess the final thing is to actually see this layout working for the first time. So off we go. I've got the 5 Scotsmen lined up along with the City of Bristol, I think it is. Yeah, City of Bristol. So send them off. So as you can see, everything's running a dream. I've had no short circuits, no derailments on these tracks. As I've been going along, every solder I did, I checked using the DCC controller. I just plugged it in and it did its self-check to make sure there was no short circuits. And I was also running the locos over each dropper solder as well to make sure that they were quite happy to go over. So I am really pleased. I finally, after 10 months, have a working model railway. And yeah, so moving on, it is definitely bridge building time to get the outer 2 tracks now running. And we'll see where we go for there. So I hope that video makes sense of wiring, simplifies it, hopefully. And shows you how you can do it with a minimal amount of soldering. But leave any comments you have, any questions you have. Please subscribe to the channel for more updates, and thanks very much for watching. Cheers for now. Bye.